Hello viewers, my name is Tyler Marchand, and today I'm going to be looking at my picks for the best hit songs of 2003. Let's get this out of the way. 2003 was a pleasantly great year for music. I wouldn't say this year was quite as good as 2001, but it is a marked improvement upon an already great 2002. Honestly, I initially thought that this year would be more on the good side of okay, considering that I was especially looking forward to looking at the gloriously praised 2004. We'll get to that next week. But this year might give that year some stiff competition, that's how good it was. Before I talk about the 5 honorable mentions I have for this year, and they really are a phenomenal bunch, my regretted omission from last year is Without Me by Eminem. Anyways, on to the best of 2003, shall we? I'd probably say that this is Christina Aguilera's best solo hit. A beautiful, no pun intended, self-esteem song telling people not to let others bring you down. While Christina steals the show with a phenomenal vocal performance, the instrumentation is just as gorgeous, with a fantastic mix of pianos and violins that gain swell as the song progresses. I still hear this song quite a bit, and I still love it. However, that doesn't mean that this song isn't getting recognition as well. While Beautiful was a self-esteem song, this is a self-esteem song, kind of similar in lyrical sentiment to 2001's Survivor by Destiny's Child. What this song has over that one is, of course, the arena rock instrumentation that fits surprisingly well with Christina Aguilera's powerful vocal delivery. It is a shame that this song isn't really played much anymore. If Christina Aguilera were to use this type of instrumentation more in her music, I'd be on board with that. Speaking of female acts that fit surprisingly well with pop rock instrumentation, this was Kelly Clarkson's first major hit after leaving American Idol as their first winner. Far from her best work, we'll get to it, trust me. It is still great pop rock nonetheless. The song details Kelly Clarkson trying her best to not fall in love, but when love comes around, she finds herself falling anyways. The guitar licks and the turntable usage make this song instrumentally, although I don't know why I hear autotune on her voice. She doesn't need it. By the way, upon looking into some of the people involved with this song, guess whose fingerprints I found? None other than Christina Aguilera's. Man, was she everywhere this year. This song is still massively popular in Reno, and man, is this a jam to listen to, thanks to that bass line that reminds me of Another One Bites the Dust. However, I'd like to focus on how this song comes close to making Justin Timberlake look like a sleazeball who only wants to get in a girl's pants. That girl's not Janet Jackson, contrary to popular opinion. Actually, I take that back. The song actually succeeds in making Justin look like a sex-starved creep. If Finn of the Social Tune ever sees this, tell John Mayer to eat his heart out. Honestly, the song should be abhorrent, but that's the magic of Neptune's production for you all. Loving this makes me an accomplished douchebaggery, but speaking of songs about thinking with your second head, Today, Dierks Bentley is considered one of the good guys when it comes to modern country music, but many people don't realize how long he's been around. This was his breakout hit, and it is awesome. Song details a night on the town for Dierks and his girlfriend, and all the shenanigans they find themselves in, mostly from pissing off everyone from the cops to a biker at a bar and the girlfriend's father, who started this whole chain of events, and then he causes them to run off again when the date is supposed to end. I just can't help but have a smile on my face when I listen to this song, and the banjo instrumentation also adds to the fun that this song brings. Okay, those were my honorable mentions. Who's ready for the top 10 proper? I know I am. Number 10. Even as late as 2003, songs about 9/11 were still being released as hits. One such example was Have You Forgotten, which doesn't sound bad instrumentally or vocally, but is lambasted because it was responding to a perception at the time that 9/11 wasn't being taken seriously. People still do that today, and I'm not even talking about the jet fuel can't melt steel or the Bush did it theories. And the song is bashed as if it were actively telling people to go out and harass people of the Islamic faith. But enough about that. Here's that other song about 9/11. Assuming people, you the viewer, are still watching me after that little thing, this song is about more than 9/11, now that I think about it. I mean, it kind of alludes to it towards the end of that second verse, but this song seems to detail violence across many spectra, and is trying to get people to open their eyes to said violence. While I like will.i.am, Taboo, and apl.de.ap in their verses, there are two stars of the show for me. There's the instrumentation, with a nice mix of strings and flashes of electric guitar, and then there's the chorus, courtesy of Justin Timberlake and Fergie. The Black Eyed Peas truly have a mixed catalog, but this song is one of their best, and I'm glad it still gets some radio play in Reno today. Number 9. Again, why don't I hear this woman on radio anymore? Anyone? I told you Michelle Branch would show up on more of my best lists, and this is one of those songs. I like to think of this song as a continuation of her previous hit, All You Wanted, where now that Michelle and the subject of the previous song are together, but the relationship hasn't really worked out, and she's not happy about it at all. Once again, she delivers a great vocal performance, and the instrumentation is great, especially with that guitar work in the background that comes in during the second half of the second verse. This would regrettably be Michelle Branch's last solo hit. But hold on, in the 2002 video, I said she only had 3 hits. What was the third? Number 8. Out of Michelle Branch's hits, this was her biggest, courtesy of a collaboration with Carlos Santana. Lyrically, there isn't much to this love song, but that isn't where the enjoyment comes for me. That is in Michelle Branch's vocal performance, especially the little bit of this, a little bit of that part, and Carlos Santana's guitar work throughout. This is a perfect example of a song where it is fantastic, but considering what other work lies in Santana's catalog, the song doesn't hold a candle at all. Still, that doesn't explain why I don't hear this song anymore. That, I don't think I'll ever understand. Number 7. This is going to be something that most people probably aren't going to be able to relate to, but at about 2005, when my younger brother was 6, he became interested in media related to a toy series called Bionicles. He would, as younger kids do, try to get the older people to try and view media related to these toys, mostly music videos set to mainly rock songs. My brother would often come to me for this because he knew that I listened to rock quite a bit. In the next few videos, I'm going to be mentioning songs that I found out about from my brother, as weird as that may seem. Here's that first such instance. Today, hard rock stations only sporadically play this song from San Jose group Trapt, and I wish I'd hear this song more often, since it is awesome. I tend not to listen for the lyrics about the stubborn person, it's a really stubborn person, but for the heavy, chugging instrumentation, especially in those choruses, and how the choruses start with, "Back off, I'll take you on." This song kicks all kinds of ass. If you don't know this song, you need to get familiar with it. Number 6. After a hard rock song that scarcely gets played today, what's the next logical step for me to take other than playing a soft rock song that is still heavily played today? I'll admit, out of Three Doors Down's 3 mega hits throughout the 2000s, this is my least favorite of them. But even then, I still love this song about loneliness, thanks to the subdued guitar instrumentation that slowly picks up, accompanied by strings instrumentation in the bridge, and lead singer Brad Arnold's vocal performance, especially in the chorus. "But just stay with me in my dreams." Some people may be giving me funny looks for putting the song this high, but I still defend it. Number 5. When looking up background on this song, I found out that, according to the frontman, it was trying to be a Nelly song. I had to laugh when I saw that statement because, honestly, who thinks this sounds like something Nelly would do? When it comes to songs from Rob Thomas's band Matchbox 20, this was their last major hit as a band, but by far their biggest and their most played hit today, and I love it. The lyrics mainly detail how Rob Thomas is messed up, and he is noticing that everyone else is looking at him like he's insane. But for me, the lyrics take a backseat to the instrumentation. The main riff in the chorus of the song is driven by a very catchy banjo, and the verses are dramatically slowed down with piano notes before building up backed up to the banjo with electric guitar. My favorite part of the song has to come from the bridge, with that little guitar interlude that leads into the final chorus. I really wish that other songs from their third album, such as Bright Lights, would have become hits as well, but oh well. Number 4. It isn't that often that country-flavored songs wind up among the top 10 songs of the year, but 2003 had such an instance. You all know where this is going. This is the signature song for both Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow, and it should be obvious why. I mentioned in my 2002 video that I grew up listening to Sheryl Crow, but I haven't really been that exposed to Kid Rock. Besides this song, Only God Knows Why, and All Summer Long. The only other song of his that I really know is Cowboy. I'll admit that I kind of like that song, even with all the phallic content in his third verse. This song, however, I love wholeheartedly. The song has Kid Rock out on tour hitting it up with groupies every night, and Sheryl Crow doting on Kid Rock from afar. Even when they are out with other people, they can't stop thinking of each other. Instrumentally, the song is mostly quiet with acoustic guitar, snaps, and the occasional steel guitar throughout, with an electric guitar solo sprinkled in that is always cut out when I hear the song in Reno. Why? Anyways, the song is fantastic. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow sound great next to each other when they come together for the third verse and beyond. But how do you one-up a country rock song? Number 3. Why, none other than with a traditional country song.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
This song was featured on Alan Jackson's second Greatest Hits album, which is where it rightfully belongs. One of the most recognized country songs ever, this song is just a blast to listen to. Alan Jackson is really bored with his 9-to-5 job and just wants to take a break. An alcohol break, but a break all the same. He ditches work at lunchtime to go have a drink because it's 5 o'clock somewhere. He thinks about returning to work, but in the spirit of Margaritaville star Jimmy Buffett, he decides to just continue enjoying himself, even though he knows it will come back to bite him in the ass. Jimmy Buffett and Alan Jackson play off each other phenomenally, especially with that dialogue that closes out the song. Added in is the classic country instrumentation, and you have a song that I'd be hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't enjoy the song somewhat. How do you get better than this, you might ask? Number 2. When putting this list together, I knew early on that It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere wasn't going to stand a chance at topping my best list, because this song was my number 1 pick for the year until I reached the top 10 songs of the year. I mean, the song even won Record of the Year at the Grammys. And that right there was the giveaway. Come on, who didn't see this entry coming? I mean, yeah, there aren't that much lyrics. The chorus is just 2 words. You are... and they're just repeated over and over again. But the lyrics don't matter here. The gloriousness of this song comes down to the haunting piano melody that drives the song, accented by some background electric guitar work. Regrettably, this song isn't played as much as it should be, although I do still sporadically hear it. Coldplay was an act that I grew up on, and I don't understand why this was only their first hit instead of songs like Yellow or The Scientist, but the song is still phenomenal all the same, but not quite number 1. What topped it, you might ask? Number 1. Like I said, when putting this list together, I had clocks at the top spot for almost the entirety of my listening through 2003's hits. However, I always knew that once I hit the top 10 of the year, this song would easily be better than the masterpiece that Coldplay was introduced to the world with. This will mark the 3rd year in a row that a top 10 year-end hit is my pick for the number 1 song of the year. I just wish it was played more often than it is today. I still hear it, but come on, this needs to be played more often. Out of Three Doors Down's 3 mega hits, this is my personal favorite of them. Yeah, more so than Kryptonite. Song has a bit of a military subtext when you look at the lyrics, which does make sense considering that this is still post 9/11 America, and the video was actually shot on an aircraft carrier. But for me, what elevates this song above all others from 2003 is the instrumentation. Starts off with relatively quiet electric guitars for the verses before exploding into heavy riffs for the chorus. There is a moment where the quiet electric guitars come back in before a guitar solo that is just all kinds of awesome. 2003 may not have been as good as 2001, but when I'm gone, my pick for the best hit song of 2003 is my favorite number one out of the ones I've done thus far. Well, that was my list. If you weren't offended by my commentary during the video, especially when leading up to my number 10 pick, and liked the video, subscribe to my channel so you can see more of these videos. If you're new, I invite you to check out my previous videos, and I welcome you to my world. Also, feel free to leave comments regarding how often you hear these songs today. I'd like to see if there's any geographical context behind what songs are played today. Next year is the year that I'm perhaps looking forward to more than any other, 2004. Stay tuned for that. Until then, I'm Tyler Marchand, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.